The basic difference between an ordinary man and a warrior is that while an ordinary man takes everything as a blessing or a curse.
Everyone sees everyone other as through their prism, through their sphere. And when you start to tell about yourself, you just put right the focus of the people, for the people to think about you. If you do something in your life, whatever it is, hobby, it is like cooking, it is work, it is sports, like do as best as you can. And when you do your best and you not succeed, it's same good experience, right? You did your best, you failed, that's right. Go and try once more. This is the second lesson.
When you are in the middle of the trip, it's unfair to get back. It is just me and the road, and the birds are flying in the sky. There is a beautiful sunset. That's the moment of life. Those moments will stay in your mind forever.
The thing is about how good you are prepared to use this moment, to take this moment and understand that this is the moment. Because all of us have those moments all of the life. So the same with business, the same with life. How good you are, how ready you are in your spirit, in your soul, in your body. So there is a luck. And the thing is how much you're prepared to use this small chance of luck in your life.
And it's worth every single second and the minute and an hour spent driving here.
And if you have not started your journey, your personal journey today, just start it.
Glad to see you here. And I encourage you to sit a little bit further if you would like to. There's going to be some slides that I will encourage you to see in the silence. My name is Denis Chichmaryov. I'm here in Lithuania for 5 years. I'm presenting a very large engineering company doing services for global clients. And now today we'll reflect on the very important things about our journey with AI for ourselves, for myself, and for our clients. Let me a little bit sense the audience. Who is from engineers, tester, business analysts, professionals? Cool. Who is from the leadership? Because there's going to be some things from the leadership, how to lead your teams, how to make the decisions. Cool. Thank you very much. And to put upfront a couple of the things. So all of the journey that I will be showing today, I was not a part of every single initiative, but of many of them. The second thing, telling the story, and the story is prepared exactly for the build stuff. By the way, great to come back second time. I still learning the story for myself as well. And the third, there are some slides made with AI. If you will see some logo on the top, that means that I have used some technology to make the slide. Jokes aside, so we'll be talking a little bit about how we see from the news what is going on outside. Like outside of your house, in the world, in California, all around, in our business as well. We'll be taking a look like very, very briefly who is our company, because it's important why we have an authority and interest to talk about that. And then I will show the journey and couple of maybe 6, 7 lessons learned for everyone. And to start the talk, usually I imagined the story, and the first thing I prompted it was Copilot in the PowerPoint. Who uses Copilot? PowerPoint, Microsoft Stack? So that was exactly my prompt. Because the baseline of the story is a storyline of GenAI adoption. And can you guess what it brought to me? This was the slide that thing generated for me. I have no clue. And the GenAI had this note that is written below. I'm sorry for a small letter. Some slides will have small letters, but majority of them will be more readable. And let's see what is going on within the market. I encourage you to keep the silence, and there's going to be a time when I will sit together with you here. It doesn't mean the presentation ended. And sense what you will see on the screen. How does it feel like? Sad? Any other feelings? So when I was doing the dry run with part of my team, they say, Denis, like, it's a weird slice. Like, I have a weird feeling. So what's about that? That is exactly what majority of us feel, because today we have the last job that is without the artificial intelligence, and everyone is nervous about that. And I will bring exact prompts that I used to generate those pictures. And let's start with the clients. So clients are buzzed about being pushed into experiment with AI as much as possible. Investors pushing them to say, hey, show me 5 programs, 10 programs. Can we do 20% faster, 20% more quality tomorrow with AI? At the same time, whenever the things are going on with the economy right now, everyone tries to save the money under the pillow, looking for others to fail before they will start their journey. This is very, very strange situation. What is about our business? So we have to educate the clients that the biggest gap with the clients' C-level people, representatives, that they are not hands-on with AI. They think that AI today will save them 20% of their time, 20% of their money. Basically, they come to us and say, hey, if you do with AI, can we do it for us 20% cheaper? At the same time, GenAI is able to bring more localized solutions. And all of the clients are coming to us and saying, hey, show me a real example what you did with AI. Because there are lots of misinformation on the internet. Some companies, really big ones, tell the things that are not working, and you cannot check that. Which is important as well about people. There is a website called layoffs.io probably, where you can see layoffs on the Microsoft, Google, 20,000 people, 5,000 people. At the same time, you can see paychecks for millions and millions for great engineers. And we see burnout in people. People are struggling. Because one of the things that I wanted to help you transfer today, when people come into us and saying, hey, Denis, can you just tell us what to do with AI? Just tell us and we will do that. People are overburdened. Amount of the things that are happening in the market is just tremendous. The current brain and technology is not able to keep up with that. As well, the education is very hard to get yourself and put yourself together to learn and experiment with every new model that is appearing on the market. So I would like to bring a couple of the thinking before we'll jump into the story. That will be very important. The first one, Gartner wave. Anyone knows the Gartner wave of the innovation? So literally, they put this wave whenever something new arrives on the market. There was about mobile, about data, about cloud, and first things start with a buzz, and it's called the innovation trigger. When everyone pops out the news, there is a new model there, there is a new model there, there is transformation in the financial services, like the hype is going above and above and above. Then what is happening is a peak of inflated expectations, where there are so many things above that what is happening right now, every single investor for the large companies expect that tomorrow they will become much more rich because AI can save lots of money for them. What is happening afterwards is the most important part. It's thought of disillusionment. When people say, okay, now we got it. Okay, can you just come to me and then what we can do pragmatic with AI? And then it's a little bit of enlightenment that we played with some technology, we know what works, what's not, and then productivity comes. I don't have personal very strong opinion where we are with AI, because it tackles all the business what didn't tackle before. It's not just the technology. So I think within AI, in different angles, we are in different places in the first part of the wave. The other framework that I would like to bring is called Cynefin framework. Anyone have seen that? And I encourage you to learn about that and use it for your decision making. It's very simple. So you have to divide your challenges, your tasks, into 4 different categories, because the way how you tackle those tasks is different. You cannot tackle the obvious task with the complexity. You cannot approach the complex task with obvious things. So obvious is just whenever today in the industry there is the best technology to solve this problem, you can just go Google and implement that. The complicated is where you have to pick up among existing tools to solve your particular problem. And we are not talking about just the technological problem. It's about the business problem and the other things. When the situation around you is complex, you have to try things. You have to learn. And these things require lots of energy, lots of encouragement. And talking about the chaos, you have to act, you have to reflect, and you have to adjust. So what does it do with all of that? I think the connectivity is pretty simple. When things are settled down, it's obvious. You have A, B, C, D choice, you pick up the best one, and you work with that. Things are getting more complex, where it's on the hype. There are lots of models, lots of startups, lots of technologies. No one can go and tell you what to do with that. And things are getting even worse when it is chaos. So, does chaos mean that we should do nothing with that? And just sit and wait? There is always an option like that. Is it the best option? Let's figure it out. So, very, very shortly about us. We are large, 60,000 people company. We are 1,200 in Lithuania. We are 200 in Latvia. So we are a public company, billions of revenue. You can follow us on the stock market. So we work with every single industry, and we do the GenAI for ourselves and for our clients. The major things that we do for our clients is content generation, it's analytics and summarization, it's semantic search, it is AI-powered engineering, how you use tools where you code for the business analysts, for the product managers, etc. And it's not just the theory. You can read our awards that we received from the Microsoft. You can use the Gartner to find ourselves there. You can see the client stories, like the largest financial institutions, including Edward Jones, that publicly say how we help them to save the money. This one, by the way, is a real story. Who knows the SWE bench? What is that? Any engineers in the room? So anyone uses Cursor, GitHub Copilot? So those things that companies introduce, they are tested and they are ranked. So we have developed, as we are engineers, our framework that we use for the code development. for 5 weeks, this framework in the public chart was taking first place. Like the things changing every single day. Now it's not the first. We're working ourselves out to make it the first again. But there's a recognition that we do the hands-on work with LLMs, artificial intelligence. So what's our story? By the way, does anyone remember when ChatGPT was launched? Year, month?
3 years.
3 years, okay, you're right. So our story started way before that because we were doing traditional artificial intelligence, which was not based on the LLM models. But the mark will be mostly about the generative AI story. So our story started in March 2023. I think that's 4 or 5 months after ChatGPT was launched. So you can imagine 60,000 people company. ChatGPT is launched. We have more than 1,000 clients across the globe. Like, where to start the journey? As we are engineers, we engineered a very small web portal for ourselves inside the company, where we asked everyone to submit the things that they did with the GenAI. Like, you did something for the business analysis, go submit your case. You did something for the coding, go submit your case. Like, in a week, we had more than 2,000 submissions. Then you have to use the GenAI to process all of that. And people were guesstimating, like, I think the GenAI will save like 60% of my time as a product owner. This is what I did. I implemented, put my requirements into LLM, prompted that, and get the story. So what we did the crowdsourcing inside the company. The next thing that we did, we formed a very small group of the people who we think strategic thinkers, but they can guesstimate what's going to be next. And we allowed people to join this group who wanted to catch up on the wave. This important thing will show up a little bit later. What we did as well, and what I see as we work with some local companies, they have not done this yet. We implemented a technology that we call the dial. Anyone knows the Nexus.ai? You can see this in the airports. Anyone knows what it does? If you want to remember just one thing out of today, that's going to be the one. To experiment with AI in any company, you should build the environment where people feel safe to go and try out various models in their craft. And we were lucky that we did it years ago. So it's open source, won't be stopping a lot. You can go and search it on the internet. It's basically an open source tool for your organization where you can deploy models, agents. Anyone knows Agent Space was released 6 months ago by Google, so kind of. But this open source is free. But this is very, very important milestone. What was next? So, do you know how new versions of the models appear every single week? So there were people in the company who said, I'm interested to pilot all of these models. So we formed a SWAT group of people and gave them an environment. So their daily job was to deploy new models and test them. This is very, very important for us because clients come to us and saying, hey, we have the stack with Ruby on Rails, we have a front end on the JavaScript, we have that one CI/CD pipeline. What you will propose us to use to do the better development? And like, we cannot say, like, go and Google the internet, they will tell you, right? So we are professionals, so we have to test it ourselves. This is still working for years for us. The next step, when you cannot do the public announcement from the CEO from the first day, because you don't want that the company data will leak out. So we did our CEO did an announcement on the experimentation with the GenAI only after we implemented the secure perimeter for us. And we launched games. Our smart guys from the hub, brought AI games. Anyone play the AI game? I can give you an example. There is an LLM model specifically tuned where you have to dig out some particular answer for a particular question. And you cannot dig out straightforward. Anyone played such games? It's like playing a chess. So we have introduced AI games with many streams of work. One stream of work was to beat the model in the Czech and math party. The other was to do the parallels. There were topics named by the company, legal, HR, and bring your ideas, what we can do. And very interestingly, out of that, 2 ideas were born. So I will show you those 2 ideas a little bit later, the framework. I will come back to this point a little bit later. And then we are engineers. So at EPAM, we have around 200 applications that we build for our own. And like every single new application is hard to adapt. But we have built a new one. It's a single entry point for everything about AI in the company. So we literally can say how many projects today in thousands use what technologies. If anything new appears on the education in AI for any of your role in the company, you go there, it suggests you the role. If you would like to search for any client work that we did in a particular area, you can go there and you can chat with it. So what's next? Anyone did any prompt engineering trainings? Does it work? Who knows the best way to do the best prompt today? Exactly, 5 out of 5. This is what I do as well. So back in the days, it was not the case, right? So we introduced the AI literacy for everyone, not for engineers, for HR people, for learning and development people, for anyone in the company to know the basics. And then out of those 2 things before, we have formed the methodology. So there is no way any company can bring one in the box tool for everything about AI for our clients. What we can do the methodology out of all of the tools available, out of Cursor, out of the various LLMs. And we did come up with the methodology and we named it. And we named it AI Run. By the way, those charts on the software engineering bench that I was showing, this was exactly this methodology and the small tool below it. So AI Run is a framework. Again, this is for large enterprises framework where in one place we gather the best practices about the governance, about the technologies to use, about the prompts library, and many, many other things. And it's a methodology about the library. There is no way we can do one solution fits for all. A little bit boring, right? Yeah, I hope you're not sleeping yet. So then we introduced some pods. You remember the GenAI hub that we introduced before? What is the pod? Pod is a group for at least 3 people dedicated to some specific domain. So for example, we have clients in the financial services or clients in HR systems. We have at least 3 people, and we crowdsource pod for everybody from EPAM who wants to join and say, are you interested in your weekly life to work on a specific domain? Because what AI does, it generalizes domain a lot. That means with an AI, you have to be even more specific with the domain knowledge. Because AI solutions for the financial services companies, for business information and media, for gaming, it's a different solutions. Since then, we run those pods. And we introduced a very, very large program which is called AI Ambassadors. We said to everyone in the company, if you know something on AI, in practice, go and teach others. Here are you the instruments. Here is the recognition for you. Go show yourself. Raise up your hand, and we will support you to teach others. And the 60,000 people. And we transitioned this AI prompt engineering training into much more sophisticated program. So we are layered it up with the specifics for business analysis, for .NET engineers, for Java engineers, for architects, for product owners, for delivery managers. There is a layered education right now that we build by ourselves, for our people. And how we see the GenAI, there are a couple of the buckets of the work. First part is the productivity. Productivity part is where you use your AI tools to speed up your daily work, the same as I did the presentation. Like AI speed up the storytelling for me quite a lot. The other part is the solutioning, which is much more sophisticated part. You remember the story that do the POC is literally 20K probably in some domains. Do the production is at least 2 million. So then we launched the global conference in the company. So we literally said to everyone, guys, if you did something practical in AI, go show up. Tell us your story. People were nominating from all of the organization, bringing their knowledge, highlighted their experience. 20,000 people participated in a week. So this is the week large event, mostly after work hours, where people were motivated to go and speak out with any topic. You haven't to be like very great speaker to deliver it. And we upgraded our AI run methodology. So it's pretty small, but the reason I'm showing this slide is not for you to read, but to show up the story. And there is some reason why some things are below and some things are above. Anyone has a clue? Because this is one of the essence that I want to show you today, how to approach. The problem with AI, main problem, is not the technology. It's about people and the leadership, how to enable people to properly use this technology and encourage them. So this slide shows us that we have some things in the company that are ruled top to bottom. That means there is a limited group of people who own those things and tell everyone others what to do with all of that. But which is more important, there are lots of things that we crowdsourced, saying, we don't know, guys, what to do. We're on the same boat. You are on the production project. Know better, come to us. And this is the reflection of our startup culture, but at scale. And one of the more relevant questions, who brought those ideas to the company? Because I know many companies where great ideas die. And then sometimes companies die. And those things were brought by people not from the leadership. It's not the CEO who told us to do all of that. It's not the chief AI officer who told us to do all of that. It's a story that you can connect dots only looking backwards. And we have connected them. We have connected them introducing EPAM.ai. You remember this GenAI Hub was the second initiative that we done. We could not establish it back in the days. We took our journey. We acted, we did a sense, and we did a respond. And which is, my guess, now things out of the case becoming transitioning into the more complex things. So at least for us, it's not the case anymore. It's a complex environment. So we have results for our company, but unfortunately, My management told me not to show them, but we'll be happy to talk about them. What does it teach us? At least it teaches me, as I work with people and with technology every single day. People from the leadership here, if you don't know exactly what to do with AI in your company, ask your people. To ask your people, you have to build an environment where people can experiment, can come back to you, can highlight what is working, what is not. You have to support your people. Not saying, I'm a boss here, I told you to do that. Like, you came back to me, you're a junior engineer, you have an idea, let's talk. You have to make the bets. If you have too many ideas, your role in the leadership is to prioritize, because no one will give you a gazillion of money. Last but not least in this section is to talk with your people. Elon Musk is a pretty controversial person, but what I like about him, he walks into the factory, he talks with people. Being CIO, CEO, whatever in your company, go to your engineers, talk with them. Like, don't think that some hired person to your company will solve all your problems. It's not the case. With data, it was the case. With mobile, it was the case. With cloud, it was the case. It's not the case with the GenAI. And dearest experts, challenge yourself. Don't expect management to come to you and tell you what to do with this technology. Don't wait. The train is moving. Bid for your ideas. If you really believe in your company these things works, knock out the door of management, call them on the phone, and tell, I have an idea. There are many things who are in the train already. Find out them, pair with them, have a coffee, have a dinner, have a lunch, talk with them, how they do, join their initiatives, work with them together. There are already people with whom you can talk and learn. You remember those pictures from the start about our clients, about our business, about our people? A bit depressing. Lots of chaos going on. And this is the major slide, because what I see here on the market, not only here but globally, companies think if they will hire one best engineer or this AI healthcare director, that they will solve the problem. The truth is that it is not. My encouragement, learn, go experiment, knock those doors of your management who can think that they can solve AI challenge in your company with closed door behind, and tell them your story. Because in what I believe, the best innovators are we. That's all that I wanted to share today.